up, everybody? Welcome to Witchfinger Horror Podcast. My name is Yasmina. To my right is Morgan.
Hello.
To my left is Megan.
Yo.
And I'm very excited for this episode. I think we can all agree that we're all excited for this episode.
This is gonna be great.
We are finally fucking watching From Beyond.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we've talked about wanting to do this movie. Like, I know I say this for every single fucking episode.
Our list is usually really long.
Yeah. Ever since we started the podcast, we've always wanted to do this movie. But I am very excited to do this one because we have done Stuart Gordon before with Dolls, but I'm pretty excited about this one because this is the first time we're doing a movie with my boyfriend, Jeffrey Combs.
Who's got to be wearing the sexiest sweater I've ever seen?
He is babe. He's a babe. Like, when I was a kid, I had the biggest fucking crush on him from Reanimator. Like, I just used to watch Reanimator a lot when I was a kid, and I thought he was a babe. I thought he was so fucking hot. And then my brother used to watch a lot of Deep Space Nine, and I didn't realize it was him, obviously.
He's literally every alien on the show.
Every Star Trek ever.
Yeah.
Too.
I know. Oh my god, I fucking love him so
You know
much.
what? You know what it is about him? I just noticed this right now. It's
What?
his nostrils.
You think?
He's got sexy nostrils.
I know.
I mean-
Mouth. Actually, he's got a really good. His whole face.
Well, he's got a good upper lip. He's got a good
You're
upper
right.
lip.
I know.
But his nostrils, they make it. I want to suck the tip of his nose. I don't like the man. But I
He
like
is
the man's
really,
nose.
really cute. And yeah, like
He's
he does have like a
adorable.
really, a weird kind of attractiveness.
Even when he's fighting off a fucking weird,
Sluggy, slimy thing.
Snake. I'm a snake from another dimension.
snake.
I'm a snake. But yeah, so I will not get into Jeffrey just yet. I think I'm gonna wait until I'm done this Stella here because he fully arouses me.
I just gotta dull all the senses first.
I know, right? There's like just so much about this movie that is amazing. But yeah, so let's just start off with some facts. Came out in 1986. It was
Good year!
A good year.
That's a good year.
Yeah.
Very good.
I would have to say that 85 was probably the best year for movie releases. You have to admit
movie
that.
releases.
Movie releases.
Yeah.
But
right.
not for
Are you
Megan
saying-
releases.
Oh, is that because that's when you
Look.
were born?
Yeah, it
Fuck
doesn't
off,
matter.
really?
You know what? It doesn't matter. Yeah.
You were born in 86? Weird. I always forget. Dude, I always forget. I always forget how young you are. But then again, it's like, I know people who were born in the 90s, and that shit freaks me out.
I know, it makes me feel incredibly old.
Yeah.
Incredibly old.
But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my age. But yes, so it was also produced by Brian Usna, and we've talked about him and Stuart many times. So yeah, basically From Beyond, based on the short story also called From Beyond by H.P. Lovecraft. It was written in 1920 and it was first published in 1934. And I was going to read it before we recorded this, but I didn't get around to it because it's only 7 pages.
Yeah, I actually listened to the audiobook.
Yeah,
and it was like just 20 minutes, and honestly, it is compelling.
It's
Yeah.
I
captivating.
was like,
Yeah.
I listened to it while I was at work, and I just had my headphones on, and literally I couldn't focus on doing
His
anything.
stories
I was
are
like,
fucking really good and really creepy. Like we were
Yeah.
talking about this at work, Morgan and I, because we work together, and I was just like, "Well, have you ever like got into Lovecraft?" And you said you hadn't.
No.
And like I'm surprised by that actually because I feel like every goth kid, like in
Yeah.
the 80s and 90s, like definitely had a Lovecraft and like Poe.
I was gonna say Poe.
Like a phase, and I definitely had a Lovecraft phase. I haven't read any of his stuff in a really long time, but his stories are pretty fucking awesome. Like, in my opinion, if they're, you know, like, Lovecraft was very pivotal for a lot of horror writers, especially Richard Lehman. Like, Richard Lehman, the Cellar, that story is so fucking Lovecraft. But, yeah, I'm a huge fan. I used to read a lot about him, but I haven't in a really long time. But his
I feel
stories
like,
are super creepy.
You know, they stand up because they were written in like the late 18,
Yeah,
early
isn't that
19s,
crazy?
and they were written so long ago, and we're still making movies about them.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
like
So,
they're
that
still
says it all,
relevant.
right?
The
Yeah.
ideas were way ahead of their time,
Yeah.
and all of the like horror aspects of it still resonate to this day. Like,
Well, that's
with
because
people.
monsters will never not be scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Like
And
other
the
dimensions
unknown
and the
and
unknown will
everything,
never
it's
not
all-
be scary.
I just
all
like
very
the
creepy.
I'm an avid lover of like the ocean world, but also very terrified of it as well. And I think what drew me to Lovecraft a lot when I was a teenager was like my intense fear of like sharks in the ocean, and he just like took it to the next level and added like Cthulhu, you know, the monster.
Yeah.
Like who knows what the fuck is in the ocean? Like it's so goddamn ginormous, you know what I mean? And like he definitely took that to that horror like sci-fi aspect of it, and I think that's probably what drew me to him. Like I always like had like an obsession with like tentacles and Cthulhu and everything, and but yeah, we'll get into some other Lovecraft.
Why do I want to talk about porn right now?
Because of tentacle porn.
Yeah,
I
thought
looked
about
that
that
shit
too.
up, girl. Oh my god, tentacle porn makes me laugh. Like not only because it's like actually history. Like, I mean, it's been around for fucking hundreds of years. And, like, I love that it's, like, in old, like, transcripts and, like, old, like, books. And, like, there's, like, paintings of, like, women being fucked by tentacles.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
And they still do it to this day.
I know.
Cray,
like,
cray
all
shit.
the anime porn and, like, the real life porn with tentacles.
Putting
like, I think
eels
it's
up the
so
wazoo and
fucking
shit.
Yeah.
Hilarious. It's so funny to me. Anyways, okay, we're at the beginning of the movie right now, and I just have to say something about this woman, the neighbor. Her name is Bunny Summers, and she's also in Reanimator. She plays a doctor in Reanimator, and she's also in The Last Starfighter. Do you guys remember The Last Starfighter?
I do actually. Do you want to know something really fun?
we go.
I actually found it on VHS at the Goodwill by my house the other day, so I have a copy
I
of
used
it.
to love that movie so much, especially like, but the one part scared the fuck out of me when his doppelganger was still developing his skin, and he was still like slimy and yellow, and he was like, his sister comes and like knocks on the door and like wakes him up for breakfast, but it's the alien, and he's hiding under the bed sheets, and then he takes the bed sheets off, and he's like eyelidless and like yellow, disgusting, like slimy, like fucking skin, and I was like, I was watching that when I was a kid. I was like, oh my god, that's fucked up. She's also in Big Top Pee-wee, which is a super deranged movie.
Yeah, it is.
In my opinion.
It really
is.
is.
I love Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but I tried to watch Big Top Pee-wee once, and that movie's weird. Like, that movie, those people were on acid when they were making that movie.
Was it like a classic Pee-wee?
It's like the sequel to Big Adventure,
and
it's like, it's weird. There's like a makeout scene. Like, Pee-wee, I don't want to see you fucking...
No, he has Ken genitals.
Yeah.
Pee-wee Herman doesn't have a penis or a vagina. He has just
He's
like,
asexual.
Yeah. He's not into fucking anyone.
No,
he
I know.
shouldn't
Yeah,
be.
he's like a doll. He's got nothing.
Yeah, he's doll
He's
Oh.
that's for another episode.
One more thing I want to say about Bunny Summers. She was in a Seinfeld episode, and she was in
Which one?
the Muffin Top episode. That's like one of my favorite fucking episodes. She's on the J. Peterman bus tour.
Oh my
She's like
God.
the fat lady
Yeah.
with the couple. Like,
I just watched
yeah,
that one the
I love
other
it.
day.
Oh my god, I fucking love that episode so much because it's also the episode where Jerry is dating a girl that doesn't like body hair, so he shaves his
he's
chest.
like, I'm sorry, his
but
voice
because-
gets
I
all
know, and when he shaves his chest, it causes like a rash, and he gets all itchy. And he's on the bus, and he has to run away to itch his chest, but he doesn't want her to know that he shaves. He's like in the fucking forest. He's like, oh man, that feels good. Oh man, that one, that's a really fucking good episode for sure.
Holy shit.
But yeah, so back to From Beyond. So what else do I got here?
This
so
movie is fucking star-studded. Literally, the credits are going right now,
I know.
and it's like Charles Band, Stuart Gordon, and Brian Usna. It's like fucking. This is
basically
awesome.
everyone.
It is.
And so, if we're gonna start getting into facts, the fucking box office broke my heart.
I know.
It broke my heart
I
to
know.
see that. I didn't
Yeah.
expect it because not only did it do so poorly compared to the budget, but it came out at the perfect time. It came out October 24th.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
Right
That's
around-
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, maybe it did compete with something.
Yeah,
I
maybe
didn't look
I'm
at
sure
what
it
came
must
out
have.
around
me
that
too,
time.
actually.
Halloween? It
Yeah,
must have.
but
It
you would
must
think
have.
that like with the success of Reanimator before, that it would kind of help to propel.
It would have that cult already.
Yeah, because
Maybe.
there's a lot of similarities between the movies in style.
In so
Obviously,
many-
Jeffrey
yeah.
Combs is in as well, but like visually and stylistically, like I see a lot of similarities between the movies. So you'd think that it would be like, oh, from the people who made this amazing movie that actually did really well.
Maybe they got screwed with like promotion or something like that. Like maybe they didn't plug it very well or something. Like we did another movie where that happened. Where they, what movie was it that, like, they just didn't give them, like, any promotion, like, whatsoever? Was it Fright Night and then Perfect? So Perfect.
Well, no, I think it was the studio.
Them all the money.
Yeah, they gave. Yeah, so Fright Night had a smaller budget, and they kind of just left them alone with what was going on. But who knows? Like, I mean, was Empire Pictures at this time on a downslide? Or was maybe it still during the heyday of things?
Or maybe they were just beginning or something. I'm not really sure. But it is, it's really weird. Like, the budget for the movie was $4.5 million, and the box office was only, like, $1.2 million. But it was shot in Italy, and if it had been shot in America, it would have cost $15 million. So good thing they could have lost more.
Yeah, I know.
So there's a good side, I guess you can look at it in, like, a positive aspect. But, it was shot at the Dino Sita, where they shot Dolls, and the Dolls and From Beyond were both shot at the same time, and I believe From Beyond came out the year after Dolls. And, but yeah, so the Dino Sita, we've talked about it before in the Dolls episode, like, it was constructed by Dino De Laurentiis, who is, like, the producer of everything. He's, like, produced, like, 500 fucking movies.
Yeah,
like,
he had a huge thing going on. And he actually, his company was the one that went bankrupt, when Near Dark came out, because I remember we talked about that.
And the government seized the Dino Sita, like, the building. And then Empire Studios or whatever took over, and From Beyond was one of the first movies shot there while it was under Empire Studios.
Dude, can you fucking imagine if you got to just chill in this building where Dolls is being shot, and then you walk around the corner and fucking From Beyond is being shot? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Just walking around, like, you know, like all these pivotal, you know, movies are being made. I know, it's pretty awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, like, it's cool that they were able to sort of do, like, two birds with one stone sort of thing, where it's like they're taking care of, like, two fucking really awesome movies that did fairly well, I guess.
For sure. Well, IMDb gives it a 6.7, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 75%. I know that Stuart, while I was, like, doing my research on this movie, it's funny because, like, me and Morgan were actually talking about this at work yesterday, and we were saying, like, how adorable this group of old men are. Like, Stuart and Brian Usna, and, like, they all, like, made these, like, ridiculous fucking absurd movies.
Yeah, we were like, look at these cute
like, they were, like,
grandpas.
these adorable, like, old men that were all making, like, at one point of their lives, like, in the 80s, like, 30 years ago, they were sitting there, like, oh, let's fucking make a movie where we have a severed head eat out some girl, and, like, let's put a face in a butt, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, and they were, like, these adorable, like, old men, and I'm just, like, and, it must have been hell for them back then, because I know the MPAA was really, really strict back then, and so he definitely had an ordeal with them getting an R rating. As they started the movie, the MPAA said that From Beyond had, like, 10 times too much of everything, so he had to make, like, a bunch of cuts.
Isn't that fucking sad?
I know, like, what could have, but I think, was it MGM released the director's cut on DVD?
Yeah,
in 2007, and I actually used to have that DVD when I used to bartend at this, like, dive bar in London called The Wick, and I used to play it on the TVs, like, during the day.
Yeah.
And, like, people would, like, walk into the bar and be like, what the fuck are you playing? And then it got lost there, so I never got my copy back, and that bar got demolished. But but Stuart, I guess, was, like, looking around for, like, he was just, like, looking around for, like, extra footage and stuff like that, and he happened to find the extra footage, and he gave MGM, like, the authority to release it, and then Scream Factory released it on Blu-ray in 2013. But I guess, like, the MPAA, their biggest problem with From Beyond was the S&M. There apparently was also a deleted scene of Dr. Pretorius hammering a nail through a woman's tongue.
Yeah.
But I don't remember that in my DVD, though.
But I also don't see why that would be so upsetting.
The tongue or the S&M?
The S&M thing, you know, you can always
Because, like, it's like when you... Yeah, like when you involve, like, sex with
No,
violence.
and I get
like
that.
a big
But the
deal for
tongue
them.
is what I'm saying. I don't understand why, like...
There's
you know,
plenty
so
of movies
many,
that came out that have stuff like that.
like, really
But in the
blatant
80s?
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's, I mean, some other scenes in this movie. Let's talk about fucking Hellraiser. Hellraiser.
Oh,
had some
Hellraiser was
brutal shit.
demented.
Maybe
Right,
it was
so,
different for England, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you
like,
never know.
Maybe the American MPA
Or
were
maybe
just, like,
It was
more
like
strict.
maybe it was one of those scenes, like, you know, when they did Cannibal Holocaust and they had to prove that it wasn't real. Like, maybe it looked so real, like this nail in
they
the tongue
did such
bit,
a good
you
job.
know?
Yeah.
You never know, because I mean, they did have. Oh, I love this. Side note: smoking inside doctors.
Right?
That his wife, Carolyn Purdy Gordon, like, oh my god, I think it's hilarious, like, watching doctors and, like, surgeons, like, fucking
Yeah.
smoking in hospitals.
I forget which movie it is. Fuck. I know it's a horror movie, but a woman is pregnant and she's seeing that. Is it in The Fly where she thinks that she's dreaming about going to
Yes,
dark and he's
yep.
got a cigarette or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
And
Oh
he's
my
like,
God.
And he's like in front of a pregnant woman and she's like busting out pregnant and he's like, I love that
Classy.
shit.
Yeah.
Classy 80s.
Oh, man.
Right.
We've come a long way.
Yeah.
That is so
Have
funny.
we?
Well,
We're overpopulated.
Yes, we are. Stop having babies, people.
We digress.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, so we're talking about the special effects. I mean, they had what was it, like 4 teams?
Yeah, they had like 4 separate
Yeah.
special
4
effects teams
separate
working
teams.
on this movie.
And that's when you know their priorities are fucking in check.
I know.
Absolutely.
And I love that Stewart also hired medical advisors and had them like on set because he wanted to make sure that the medical devices and like were and like the medical procedures were very accurate for the movie. And I guess he did that for Reanimator as well. But I love that a lot of we talked about this actually in our last episode, in the Ghoulies episode. A lot of the special effects, the creature effects, were done by John Carl Buechler.
JCB.
What? Yeah, he was the one that did he directed Ghoulies 3.
Yep, and he did all the
ghouly
creatures.
Yeah, and he also directed my favorite Friday the 13th Part 7. And he also did like some of the effects on Cellar Dweller.
Yep,
I
and
believe.
Troll as well.
Yeah. Oh
He
yeah,
did the
and
little
Troll.
trolls.
That's right. Yeah, I need to rewatch Troll. I know I say this like every single fucking episode. Like, there's too many movies to watch.
I just can't even picture, you know, every time you guys mention a movie, I'm sure as all of our listeners are doing, you know, you're like, oh, picturing that creature in your head, like picturing Cellar Dweller and like picturing all this shit, and you guys mentioned Troll, and I just see that old man.
I don't remember. What old man?
No, the old man who looks like the troll, remember?
Yes, from Rotor.
From Rotor.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you're okay. Right.
I'm trying to
I
picture
thought
the
you were
Troll.
talking about like somebody in Troll.
No,
yes,
sorry.
The
And I
man
just-
in Rotor looks like one of the trolls in Troll 2.
Yeah,
it is the greatest thing ever. We should fucking post that shit again.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was like one of our like most early posts on.
I know. Well,
on
and that was the
Witchfinger.
first time that me and Morgan watched
Yeah,
Rotor.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, that fucking guy
We
looks like
fucking-
the troll from
We
Troll
cried.
2.
We cried.
If anyone out there listening knows anyone who looks like any sort of creature, can you send us pictures?
Yes, we like
Yeah.
And like the
Yes.
side by side, like send us a picture of the creature and the picture of your friend who looks like this
Yeah.
creature, because like I need to see humans that look like monsters.
I'm a
need
big fan
creatures
of
with
creatures
screens.
and beasts.
Beast Man.
Was it Beastman from He-Man? Was his name Beastman?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Beastmaster. We'll talk about all the
You
beasts.
know what?
Oh yeah, isn't the address of the house in From Beyond is 666 something?
Yeah,
right?
Benevolent Street.
Yeah,
That's
something
funny.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but look, it's you guys know the Witch House? It's like identical. It looks so
Yeah.
similar, like super similar.
There's Ken Forey.
I know he's a
Looking all
beast.
suave.
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
Yeah, speaking of
He's
beast.
fucking tall. I met him, and the photo of me and him together is just absurd because I'm very short. I'm like 5'1", and he, I believe, is like 6'5".
Oh my
He's
God.
6'5". He towered over me. I was like, oh my god, I love you.
Is he wearing a turtleneck in this?
Yes,
'Cause he
he
tends
is.
to wear turtlenecks.
Yeah, he
He
does.
is-
You're right. Yeah, doesn't he wear a turtleneck in Dawn of the Dead as well?
He loves
does.
them.
That's so funny. I
Yeah.
never noticed that. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Speaking about the, are you laughing at Jeffrey or Ken?
The whole situation. Go on.
He's always like
I know, right?
Shaking his head startled.
Oh God, I can't wait to get into Jeffrey.
He can't wait to get into you.
Girl,
I just
drink
like,
up
but
your
now
down.
he's obviously like a little older now, and I saw him once at Fan Expo, but I did not approach his table. And funny that I did not, because I'm actually one of those people that doesn't really get starstruck, but for some reason I did for him. I was like, fuck, I want to go say hi, but I don't. Like, I was like, what do I do? And Kane Hodder did that to me as well on more than one occasion. But usually I'm really like, when it comes to like actors and directors, like I'm kind of like normal. Like I'm just like, oh, they're just regular people. But when I saw Jeffrey Combs at Fan Expo, like I was like, oh my God, there he is. Like, holy shit. I think the only person that would actually make me like insane would be Arnold, though. Like if I ever met Arnold,
oh my God, she'd like shake and cry.
I would cry.
I could picture
hands down. I would fucking lose my mind.
Touch me, Arnold.
I would love to see you unravel like that.
I would lose it. I would lose my mind. Back to talking about the special effects. According to Brian Usna, I guess production actually ran out of money before the effects on the finale could be finished. So I don't even think that, I mean, what we see, like, that's just what they had to do with the money that they had left. So I wonder, like, what could have
been, because I mean, it's still, like, honestly, it doesn't look like all of a sudden they ran out of money. It doesn't look cheap or anything. Like
the special effects in this movie are fantastic. The special effects and the lighting in this fucking movie give me a boner. Like all the pinks and blues together, like they look phenomenal together.
Yeah, well, and the colors in the story are pretty integral to like the description. When I was listening, there was like a 5-minute period where it was an intense description of the lighting, what was coming out of the machine, the creatures and stuff like that. And cool. It's very much exactly like what's in the story.
That's pretty cool. Richard Band, who is Charles's brother, he did the score, and he actually won the award for Best Original Soundtrack at Stooges that year.
That's cool.
And Albert Band, who is Richard and Charles's father, was a production manager on From Beyond, and he also plays a wino in the movie. And I like that, like, IMDb, I think, or Wikipedia says wino, and the other one says drunk. I love that.
Just overall, just being a drunk bum.
Yeah, just being a drunk bum. And this I did not know because I actually love this song, but the Beastie Boys song, Intergalactic, sample the sound of the resonator.
Isn't that something? I saw that fact too, and I was like, now I need to listen to that song.
That's a great fucking song. Yeah, Beastie Boys are fucking great.
Rest in peace.
So Stewart he previously worked with Jeffrey and Barbara on Reanimator, and he had such good working experiences with them that the reason why he hires like the same group of people in theater as well as movies, especially with the Lovecraft stories, is because he knows that it would involve people having to agree to do a lot of weird shit. So he knows that Jeffrey and Barbara had like no problem with anything, and so he knew that they would be like really easy to work with, so it would like they can adapt quickly and it would make like filming go over smoothly. However, I found that kind of interesting because I was doing a little bit of reading about like Jeffrey's experience while making From Beyond, and this is what he said. He said From Beyond was a very difficult movie. It involved a lot of makeup. It was 30 days in that hideous, bald-headed, dog dick out of my forehead thing. I hated it. It was so uncomfortable. On the plus side, because it was shot in Rome, they got to spend like a glorious like 8 weeks like just hanging out in Italy. I guess like the difficulty for him was that he kind of felt like Charles Dickens, where it was the best of times, but it was also the worst of times. Then he went on to say that it was a bit frustrating for him to play Dr. Tillinghast because it was very different than playing Herbert West, because Herbert was a very strong and driven person, and those are the roles that he's usually used to. They usually like push the action forward, whereas like Dr. Tillinghast was more of a victim, so he felt like some of his skills were taken away from him. So it was like I find that kind of interesting that like he found it challenging to be tame. That just goes to show how good of an actor, like an animated, charismatic, like actor he is. Like, he's just so good at being completely like into the character and going like the extra mile of being extreme, you know what I mean? And like
and extreme in both ways.
But this is important then, because you need to bust out of those characters.
It's
you can't
true,
play the same role all the time.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I mean, if you do, you get typecast, and then eventually it's over.
Even if that's what you want, though, even if you want that typecast, like he said, like he prefers those characters or he identifies with them more or whatever. But still, man, I guess you always experience it different from the outside looking in. You know what I mean? Like, we're seeing this, like, holy fuck, this is like a masterpiece. Like, he does such a good job. And where he's clearly saying, like, holy shit, that was hard. You guys have no idea. Yeah. So it's like a different experience, but like, fuck. He pulls it off. You can't fucking tell that the man's having a hard time.
He is such a fucking good actor. Also, the part where Ken Foree makes them this dinner.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know, but it's
like chicken stew and biscuits.
Yeah,
and that shit looks the bomb.
Good. Like, I can smell the gravy from that pot through the TV. It looks so fucking good, and I like how he gives them each like one.
I know, and he gives himself fucking 3.
Oh.
Well, I mean, he is a giant.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. Beast man.
Yeah. I didn't know this, but there's another movie adaptation of From Beyond. Did you guys see that? It's a movie called Banshee Chapter. It came out in 2013. It's directed by Blair Erickson, and I believe that's the only movie that he's done. But when I saw the cover of the movie, I was like, oh, that actually kind of looks familiar, but I didn't realize that it was actually an adaptation of From Beyond.
Interesting. You know, when I was looking for From Beyond for the audiobook on YouTube, I could have swore that I saw a trailer for that.
What's it called?
Oh, Banshee Chapter. It looks like Pin on the cover.
So familiar. I've definitely seen this places. I will show you Morgan. However, I get nervous because anything in like 2013.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the 2000s kind of scare me sometimes.
Oh no, I've definitely seen.
I've seen it like on the shelf at
or something. You know what I mean?
Because it reminded me of Pin.
But I just, if it's a low budget 2013 movie, it's gotta have shitty CGI, because that's what 2013, that's what the 2000s are. If you can't afford good CGI,
reminds me of Deep Blue Sea. The CGI in that movie.
You shut your dirty mouth.
That movie is
I'm about to break a bottle. Holy shit!
It is a fun movie. Don't get me wrong, but like that's like bad when it comes to bad CGI. Like that's what it makes me think of. It's like when the shark eats Samuel Jackson's arm.
That's a shocking moment. And LL Cool J has the fucking bird. LL Cool J, this like badass cook.
Yeah. He's got like a. Is it a parrot?
I think he's got a parrot. Yeah.
That's so funny. And it's got Thomas Jane, the good-looking Christopher Lambert.
Oh, yeah. He was the Punisher at one time, right?
Yeah. And he's in like every new Stephen King.
I was going to say, wouldn't it be great if they did like a Punisher, like where they both were the Punisher in the movie?
Like Thomas Jane and Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, yeah.
Dolph could
and then it turned into a porno.
Oh, my God.
God.
That's something I would watch.
And then they could bring in the Phantom. Remember when
Affleck?
Billy Zane.
Oh, wait. What's
it? Remember when Billy Zane?
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Phantoms. Sorry. I was thinking of the movie Phantoms. Yes, Billy Zane. Yes, I remember now.
And all those men in
tights. So, this is what we want. Billy Zane, Thomas Jane, and Dolph Lundgren need to hook up and make a porn together.
Yeah.
Boom!
Punishers.
I appreciate that our guy. Punish this pussy!
Ass Punishers.
I really appreciate that all of our male listeners they grin and bear it through our fucking bullshit.
Please.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, you're welcome. I mean, come on, those are some pretty good looking males.
Right?
Men would agree.
Men would agree.
They would agree.
Yes. Okay, we're just getting into the juice. Oh,
yeah, so they just turned on the resonator, and I love Barbara's glasses, by the way. They're, remember Delta Burke?
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of her glasses a little bit.
Yeah, I dig her whole outfit. I know she's, like, very prim and doctorial. But yeah, like, I dig it with the high collar and the glasses and stuff.
And the pearl earrings.
Yeah. It looks like she's, like, about to, like, pull it off, though, and, like, get on top of a car and start whipping her hair around.
I know, like Tanya Katane in the Whitesnake video.
Yes.
Oh, she's pushing her bosom against him.
Oh my God, Ken Foree is, like, literally twice as tall as both
Dude,
of them.
like seriously, when I met him, my neck hurt like looking at him. Like, he's so
a monster.
so tall. Well, the short story of From Beyond has a lot of influence in pop culture. A lot of it I didn't even know, and I'm very surprised that I didn't know. So I broke it down into 4 categories. Music, Sleep have a fucking song called From Beyond. I had no idea because I'm really
saw
bad.
that.
Like, I'm really bad for song titles. I'm really good with like album titles. That fucking Sleep album is like pivotal.
It's fucking. It's
that
the
fucking
shit.
album is so good. It definitely reminds me of Gummo.
Yes.
Megan's face is like horrified. Should we watch Gummo one night?
That is a fantastic movie.
And there's a few metal bands that have songs about the short story. There's a band, Massacre. They have an album called From Beyond. There's a couple death metal bands called Ripping Corpse and Manila Road. They have songs based on the short story as well. For TV shows, Stargate SG-1 and Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh, yeah.
Both have episodes based on the story. And the Next Generation episode was directed by Patrick Stewart.
Ooh. Do you have the title of the actual episode?
I know that it's like it's later on. Like I'm pretty sure it's in season 6. I know, and he's gonna be fucking reprising his role as Captain Picard in the new Star Trek. Did you see that?
No!
I did not see that. It like was all over the internet
Oh my
that
God,
day.
no.
Yeah, no. Patrick Stewart is fucking coming back for the new Star Trek, and he's gonna be Picard again.
Megan is literally holding onto the table. She's gonna blow the fuck away.
She's squirting. We're all over my couch. I just made your night. Did I?
Wow.
I know.
You ever watch those porns where girls fuck men bald head? Like they put them inside their vaginas?
Like put the bald head in
The
their
whole
vagina?
head. You ever seen
No, but I'm
those?
definitely gonna look that up.
Okay, because I wouldn't want to hurt him. I wouldn't want to suffocate him or do anything bad to him. But like, he is. You know what? That's disrespectful. I take that back. No one talks about my captain like that. Not even me.
Well, like those pornos where women
I
fuck
saw him.
bald heads. Oh wait, no, I can't.
No, I gotta take that shit back. I regret saying
I
that.
saw him though in real life at that play with Ian McKellen in New York.
Forgot.
Yeah, that was fucking sweet. I saw Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen in a play with Billy, I can't remember his name, but from Watchmen, I can't remember his name. It was pretty awesome to see those two together because they're like best buds too.
I know, how cute.
Also, we're just like at the part.
I was actually gonna say, does Ted Sorrell have a fake
Dr.
butt in
Pretorius.
this?
I know. I love the part. This part, especially when Jeffrey puts his fingers like on his shoulder and presses down. I love how it like and
he pulls his face off. He's just like, it doesn't matter. But okay, so in this part, like with the pink light, like the hair on his shoulders is backlit, and it's fucking killing me, man.
Yeah.
The faraway shots where he's just standing there, like he's all like
Back
hairy,
hair.
and he's like, oh, but this is when it starts to get fucking
I know,
badass.
and like when his face splits in two, fuck, I love the colors and like all the goo that comes out of his neck, and like holy shit, this is like the Blob, like the Blob remake from the 80s.
Like meets The Fly though, like when his head is splitting and shit. Oh, it's so
But
fucking
then it also
so much.
like it's like a 3-way. It's like a really
guys, we're
it's like a really sexy 3-way because it's like
this is a sexy ass movie.
Yeah, it is.
But it's like a better version, and I hate to say it because this movie is on my 5 movies I'd take on a deserted island, but it's better than that scene in Poltergeist, which we've talked about when the scientist is looking in the mirror and his face.
Oh, I love that.
I love that
coming
fucking
off, right?
part so
It
much.
really reminded me of that.
That part fucked with my head when I was a kid.
Because
Like,
the lighting in that one's
Yeah.
really cool too.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the reason I turned out the way I am is because of that scene from fucking Poltergeist.
Really?
She can
Seriously.
take it all back to that
I
point.
I will
God.
never forget the first time that I watched that scene. It was during the day with my brother, and my brother was actually just visiting me from Ottawa last weekend, and we were talking about it, and I was like, do you remember the first time we watched Poltergeist? He was like, no. And I'm like, but you remember watching Robot Jaws? Like, okay.
That's weird.
Like, anyways, like, and the part with the steak and the maggots and like, no, that movie fucked with me. But also, so some video games. that are based on From Beyond. Half-Life and Bloodborne both involved creatures or aliens from another dimension being visible in our world. And when it comes to books and comic books, there's a book called Jennifer's Morgue by Charles Stroth, has the Tillinghast Resonator in it. And Alan Moore, one of my favorite comic book writers, he also did Necronomicon.
Okay.
That fucking comic book is amazing. And he also did Swamp Thing. He has another comic called Providence, which is hugely influenced by From Beyond. But yeah, okay, well, we have done a Stuart Gordon movie before. We did Dolls. So let's talk a little bit about Stuart. We don't want to be too repetitive or anything like that, so we'll just go over some basic facts about
some
him.
of the craziest things that he's done.
I know, so yeah, he's a badass and he's adorable, and his fucking birthday is this weekend.
Woo-woo!
I looked that up. Yeah, I was like, that's pretty funny that we chose to do From Beyond the same week as his birthday.
That's amazing.
And he started out doing theater in the 60s. Him and Carolyn, most adorable couple ever, have been together since then. So they did a lot of political plays. They did that one version of Peter Pan that got them arrested for obscenity, which is so badass.
And that fucking game show where they pretended to beat and rape plants
they
in
had
the audience
friends.
and shit.
They had friends
Definitely
pretending to be raped in the theater just to stir shit up and get people fucking talking about it.
Oh, it
definitely caused a lot of controversy in the theater newspaper when he was arrested for obscenity because there was naked women in his play. The charges were later dropped. He was also a fucking badass. He used to protest against the Vietnam War. He was even tear gassed by the Chicago police. There was a lot of riots going on that year because it was the year that Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy were both assassinated. So him and Carolyn did that Peter Pan play. Mm-hmm. Basically, he made his own version of Peter Pan, but made the characters based on what was actually going on in the world with the war. So
drugs,
the leaders,
man.
Drugs, man.
Yeah, man,
all
drugs,
right,
man.
all right.
Yeah. Okay.
And that story made national headlines with that Peter Pan fucking thing. So it put him on the map that early on.
I was gonna say any news is good news. Wait, how does that saying go? Any publicity is good publicity. Even bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
It gets your shit out there.
For sure. Him and directors and writers like John Waters, they have that knack for shock.
Yeah.
And Lloyd Kaufman, you know what I mean? It's the idea of shock and they turn it into something positive, you know what I mean? It's of course if it's bad publicity, but guess what? People are fucking talking about it, right? Yeah, so after that, him and Carolyn founded their own theater company in Chicago, and he produced and directed 37 plays. One of his plays, called Bleacher Bums, was turned into his first made film. It was just a TV movie. Mm-hmm. It was Joe Mantega's idea to actually make it into a movie, and he is the guy who does the voice for Fat Tony. Where is the monies? I would like the monies now. So him and we definitely have talked about this before in Society episode and the Dolls episode, but I still love the fact, this is just one of my favorite fucking facts in movie history, the fact that him and Brian Usna and Ed Naha all wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Which is amazing and huge Disney movie, unbelievable. It blows my mind.
I know.
Still.
I love it. I love that fact.
I wish, just imagine that they could have written it and been given the rights to make it, with their special effects.
Well, they did, didn't they?
But I mean, if you, yes.
But then Stuart got sick or something.
But it's a Disney. Do you know what I mean? If they had been able, under a different production company,
it would have been.
Because it's a fucked up concept.
It would have been very dark.
I watched that movie on shrooms and I couldn't handle it. I was
imagine if they had free reign to do all the fucked up shit
I know
that they could have done with that movie. I mean, it was a blockbuster and it was a hit, and I love that movie.
It would have been more of a Return to Oz kind of vibe.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it would have been way more demented and way more dark.
And then they had to do the fucking Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, which is
I never... Oh, wait, no, I did see that in theaters. I totally forgot about that. I just remember that the sister wasn't in it, and just the brother was.
Yeah.
And he's a teenager, and he's a nerd, and has a crush on the blonde girl or whatever.
It's just not as good.
Yeah.
That's a movie that I need to revisit. I haven't seen it.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kids?
No, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I actually enjoy watching that movie because I watched the shit out of it when I was a kid. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but did you guys own it when you were kids?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't know.
Okay,
I saw it. I remember seeing it in the theater, but
oh my
I
god,
didn't know
I had it on VHS when I was a kid. So Megan,
Same. Yeah.
I wonder if you remember this. Do you remember the cartoon that played before the movie?
Oh my God!
The Roger Rabbit cartoon. That fucking cartoon fucked with me on shrooms like so badly. And also the beginning.
And the beginning was in cartoon.
So the beginning of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is like a cartoon, like where the credits are rolling, and that song is like one of my favorite songs ever. It's like do 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 do. I just remember like in the cartoon in the credits, like the kids are like running away and they're on a pencil sharpener and the pencil is like giant.
Because that's what I mean. Because they're like always running away from these really morbid ways to die.
Yeah.
And, like if they could
shit! Sorry, I just got distracted. Sex is on the screen.
Oh, they're
Barbara
grabbing
and
each other's
Jeffrey
faces quite a bit.
Are making out pretty hard. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute.
Oh shit! Are we?
Ken Forey's missing out. He's
I
like,
know.
damn it, nobody invited me to the orgy.
No, but you know what?
After
He's
I
gonna
made
show
them
up.
fucking
I know, right?
dinner. I made them some dinner.
Biscuits.
Get some biscuits.
He's gonna show up in his thong though.
Yeah. Well,
His banana hammock.
one little tiny fact about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It was supposed to be called Teeny Weenies.
Wow, I'm so glad
And
it wasn't.
but yeah, so I guess
What a
he just
horrible name.
he dropped out because he got sick.
Teeny weenies.
Teeny Weenies. Yeah. Oh my god, Dr. Pretorius. He's like
Oh, he's all
half
demented.
like fucked up. Like this is some awesome body horror
Oh
shit.
fuck yeah! And like the hand that just shoots out of his like
Also-
slimy, goopy side.
I just want to give gratitude to Barbara Crampton for always, like, poor Barbara. Like, it's like Stewart's always putting her in these, like, terrible situations with creepy fucking old men. Like, and I watched Reanimator again last night, and it's like,
it's a lot.
my goodness. Like, and she was like, wasn't she only like 23 or something, 27 when she did Reanimator? And she's like, full naked, like full out naked, like on the surgery table, and this like severed head is like fucking like licking
like
the nipple
essentially
and shit.
like essentially legs open.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. We are
Ken Forey
distracted
just,
again.
like-
Ken Forey and his fucking
Orange fucking
Speedo underwear.
banana hammock.
But yeah, like she's always got like gross men like being all creepy looking at her and like weird elongated fingers like grabbing at her titties and shit. Like some ET fingers.
It's like an ET porn.
I
Here
know,
it is.
right? It's like worse. It's worse. Well, because in the ET porn, it's like seaweed, but this is like slime. Oh my god, Ken Forey, no! My god.
I can't.
Also, like, the big fucking monster in the basement, too, totally reminds me of Deadly Spawn.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just love the colors in this fucking movie.
And so when they wrote it, they thought he's got to be in the tightest underwear. We gotta put him in the tightest
But then they make it
underwear.
worse by making him go in the water, and then he gets wet, and then you can see his fucking junk. Like, you
Yeah.
can see his dick.
Did they make it
Oh
worse? Or
my
did they make
God.
it better?
Well, that's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Part is amazing.
I know Dr. Pretorius' head like changes into this like
It's like an ant-looking
Mouth.
kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
creepy
pretty
mouth.
awesome.
And Ken Forey's still running around in his fucking orange underwear.
like why? But I love it at the same
Oh,
time.
I know.
Though.
It's
and
absurd,
the
but
giant
it's
mouth
great.
like starts eating Barbara's head. Like that shit is fucked up. Actually, when you think about it, like if you were in that situation, oh no.
Yeah.
So just a little fact about Dr. Pretorius. That character the name is based on Dr. Frankenstein's former teacher.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Right? Neither did I. Who like brought him into the dark side.
Yeah, man.
So that is a fucking sweet reference. I thought that was pretty cool. And all I can think, because like I've had a beer and it's been a day, is Notorious Big.
Yes.
No. Pretorius.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Like it's like right there.
Literally,
it's
his
like,
dick is
Ken
right
Forey
there.
penis right in front of her fucking eyeballs.
Oh my god, imagine they made this movie in 3D. It would like be like
Oh my
poking on
god,
the forehead.
Ken Forey dick popping out of the screen.
Jesus Christ. Fuck, man. Like, okay, I wonder whose idea it was. Did he just think like, oh, what a great idea, I'll just wear my orange fucking Speedo.
But that's what I mean. Like when they wrote it, where they're like, yeah, he's
This
gotta
is
be in
why
small
I want to sit down with these men and just have a conversation with them and
just
be like,
excuse me, can you please tell me
"Excuse
why?
Were you guys on acid when you were making these movies?" But it's like shocking, right? So
Yeah.
I definitely got a reaction out of us.
I know.
Shit.
30 years later, I'm still screaming about it.
When we were just talking about, the shock value of the movies back in the day, because these were mainstream movies. There are shock value movies in the 2000 that we've talked about, like Serbian film and stuff like that.
Greasy Strangler.
But let's talk about, like, mainstream, because this was in the theater. Right? Like, I feel like the closest, and I'm gonna fucking hate myself for saying this, but the closest attempt at this, like, shock value thing in our recent history has been, like, fucking M. Night Shyamalan with his, like, surprise endings, like, got you
That's
endings.
like in the theater, you mean?
That's mainstream.
Yeah.
We just don't have these directors who were, again, mainstream in the theaters, like, pushing the boundaries.
I guess, like, a lot of movies, newer horror movies that are very shocking, like Greasy Strangler and, like, even, like, Terrifier.
Yeah.
Like, those are in select theaters and, like, film festivals and stuff like that. Whereas, like, mainstream movies, man, like, seriously, that's why I don't go to the movies. Like, there's really not that many movies that get me, like, geared to want to go.
Yeah.
Pay $20 to fucking sit in front of, like, people that won't shut the fuck up.
Dude.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah,
I can't get high. I can't have a ton of beers.
and like
yeah.
like it's like if it's worth it, like I will definitely go. Like I'm gonna go see Suspiria and like I'll go see the new Predator movie and stuff like that. But yeah, when it comes to these new movies like Terrifier wouldn't have been playing in like Silver City and the mall. You know what I mean?
Well, I just think now that it seems like, like big production houses that are making these movies, like production companies, they just think that the general public is dumb. Like, they make these, like, horror movies, like, I don't know, like, any of the, like, the newer, like, even, like, remaking the fucking Poltergeist and shit.
Yeah, I
said,
know.
well, The Conjuring's my favorite horror movie. Like, get the
Yeah,
fuck.
like, stuff like that. But it's, like, it's almost insulting to the general population. It's like, they think that they need to have these, like, it's, like, almost like cheap scares. You know what I mean? And maybe it has a lot to do with the fact that people now are so desensitized. And movies like Terrifier, for instance, are able to do better because we have more media by which to consume these movies. Like,
And
you
I
don't
feel
have
like
to just
the
go to
audience-
the theater to see a movie
and like
anymore.
the audience that we are a part of, like in the actual like horror community, are the ones that appreciate the judgments and like reception from, you know what I mean? Like it's like there's still like a lot of movies that have come out like in the past like 10 years that didn't make it to Silver City or anything like that, like mainstream theaters, but people fucking love them, and I feel like the people that made them appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like still pushing towards like making like more independently made movies and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it is unfortunate that they're not making like millions of dollars or anything like that. Like they're not like the Marvel movies or anything like that. But it's not about the money, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like all these newer movies coming out in the past like few years. It's building our community like much bigger. Whereas like we don't give a shit about fucking going to pay like $20 to go see like the newest like whatever Guardians of the Galaxy movie and like all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm more interested in buying the movies that I support, like buying the Blu-rays and like buying the DVDs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like it will continue to encourage like these filmmakers to keep making more. And then like when they appear at conventions and stuff like that, they meet people. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like it's more about that.
Yeah. We're lucky to live in this time that we do now, because back in the 80s it really was only the theater or buying a VHS that you could support a movie. You know what I mean? And so now it's like you can buy it online. You can, they didn't have cons back then. They didn't have all this stuff. So.
Well, there was the Fangoria Con like back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I guess that was pretty, but it was like only in LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Barbara has the dominatrix outfit on right
getting
now.
wild.
She sold it at a yard sale.
What the? I know, right?
Yeah,
Like, what
she
the fuck?
sold this at a yard sale.
I tried looking for how much she sold it for, and I couldn't find it.
It was probably like $20 or
like,
some
right?
shit at a yard sale, right? Do you guys want to talk about a little bit about Stuart's movies? And then we can get into all the other fantastic people in this movie.
Totally.
Okay, well, we won't spend too much time because, like, we already talked about Stewart's movies and the Dolls episodes so quickly. Obviously, Reanimator. Amazing fucking movie. I love that movie so much because, obviously, it is an incredible movie, but I also appreciate little things about it. Like, I watched it again last night, and I find it hilarious when he has the fake head on, and it's, like, just the mannequin, like, the medical, like, mannequin head, and he's, like, walking around, and he's, like, got, like, one eye. And, like, the security guard is, like, when he's, like, about to, like, walk into the morgue, and he has, like, his head in the bag, and the security guard's like, oh, is that you, doctor? And he's like, yes, it's me. Like, it's so, like, slapstick. And then, like, I also love the part, like, the fact in the Reanimator when David Gale's office, the window to, like, Barbara's dad, who's, like, dead and reanimated, in his, like, the insane room that's, like, the padded walls, the two-way mirror window leads, like, straight into his office. It's like, I'm gonna sit and do my work 8 hours a day in my office while I watch this crazy guy fucking going ape shit, like, all day. It's like, why would the window lead directly into his office? I love that. But yeah, so Dolls, obviously, we love that movie. Teddy! Castle Freak. Castle Freak.
Amazing.
Fucking
that
love
is a great
that
movie.
fucking movie so much. Dagon.
Dagon is sick.
Gives me a fucking boner. I love that fucking movie. Fish people. That fucking movie is incredible. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's like Night of the Living Dead except with fish people instead of zombies. And Fortress, I fucking love Fortress. Have you seen it, Megan? Because you love Christopher Lambert, right?
Yeah,
you're
Fortress
taking it home
is the
tonight.
one that oh shit.
It's awesome.
I have a copy of it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting.
I love it. Well, I recently, just the other day, fucking watched Robot Dogs.
Yeah, I watched Robot Dogs too.
Robot Dogs is fun.
It was very fun.
That movie is so much fucking fun. I loved it. Also, another Stewart movie that has been on my radar for so long and I still haven't fucking seen it is Space Truckers. Still haven't fucking seen that movie. I can't find it anywhere. I'm sure it's on Amazon, but I'm like, ugh.
You know it's gonna be good because when I was looking at it, there was like, obviously, you know, there's lists of movies on Rotten Tomatoes by certain directors. And I was like, hey, I want to find like the best and the worst. And in the category of the worst is definitely that fucking
Space Truckers. I know, with Dennis Hopper, Stephen Dorff.
And when I saw Dennis Hopper, I was just like, oh, shit.
I want to watch it so badly. Shit. Barbara's in it too, I'm pretty sure. And he also did Pit and the Pendulum, and Lance Henriksen is in that one. And there's a couple movies of Stewart's that I haven't seen yet, and it's the Masters of Horror series.
Yeah.
And The Dreams in the Witch House and The Black Cat.
Yeah.
And I've never seen them. And I always find Dreams in the Witch House, like, on DVD, like, in stores, and I just, like, never get it. So I'm just gonna get it next time.
Might as well.
But, yeah, he also wrote a bunch of ER episodes and Body Snatchers with Billy Wirth. Billy Wirth.
You're like,
And he also wrote The Dentist.
Yes.
Which was directed by Brian Usna. That's a silly movie. I enjoy it.
That's another one that I was sad to see got a really low rating on the tomato meter.
I like it. Right? It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
I really like it.
I've definitely watched a lot worse.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, he also produced and directed for Reanimator, the musical.
Oh, nice. Oh, and George Wendt is in it, isn't he?
Yeah, and apparently it did, it did really, really well. It played to, sold out houses, got rave reviews, standing ovations for 6 months straight.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty awesome. So, Reanimator is also a musical. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that's adorable. Okay, well, we've talked about Barbara before, and she plays Dr. McMichaels, and apparently the studio executives did not want her to be cast.
Right?
Yeah, they thought she was too young.
Because they were like, she's too young to play a psychologist.
That
but Stewart was like,
ageism.
Right?
Ageism, that's right.
Yeah,
ageism. Stewart was
Don't
like, no.
Barbara Crampton her style.
I know. Right? Well, I still love the fact that she did a lot of research for her character in Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
And I watched a video of Leanna Love on Young and the Restless.
Oh,
and
you did?
Yeah, man. She was, seriously, actually, you know what? I know Barbara did a lot of, soap operas, before she did horror, and then left horror, and then went back to soap operas, and then came back to horror. But, her role in Young and the Restless is, some of the best fucking acting that I've seen her do. That character was psychotic, so she did a lot of research on personality disorders. Her character in that show is phenomenal. She goes ape shit in that fucking show. But yeah, her first role was a very small part in Body Double. That's a great fucking Brian De Palma movie. Yeah, her dad was a carny, so...
Which is amazing, so she traveled a lot.
Yeah, she got to, like, travel
With
with the fucking circus when she was growing up, which is pretty fucking cool. Like, not a bad way to start your life.
Yeah. When I read that, I was like, you always read about shit like that, and you're like, oh, fuck, someone successful grew up in that environment. You know what I mean? Like, bouncing around and living the Connie life.
It makes me think of that show, Carnival. Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah, it really creeped me out.
That show is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it really creeped me out.
And I love Clancy Brown, so I'll watch anything with him. Yeah, so she dated John Delancey, which I love because he plays Q in Star Trek. Ooh. And I love that she did Playboy the same year that From Beyond came out.
You know what? And I didn't look those pictures up.
Dude,
you mentioned
look
that
them
I should.
up. Yeah. Like, they're awesome because they're, like, horror related.
Yeah.
There's, like, one where she's, like, in a bathtub and there's, like, zombies, like, crawling and stuff.
That's
it's
cool.
fucking sweet, man. Like, good for her. But yeah, we also did Chopping Mall. So she's in Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
And she's also in Castle Freak. She has a very small part in Transfer 2 with my boyfriend, Tim Thomerson. She's also in Robot Wars, which is the sequel to Robot Jocks, that was directed by Albert Band. Yeah, there's a sequel.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Shit.
I know, and she has she has a cameo in the first Puppet Master, and I have heard nothing but great things about the new Puppet Master, and I am not huge into those movies, but it's The Littlest Reich or whatever, and it's out soon. It's out very soon, and Fangoria, like, made it, and I've heard, like, great things about it.
It's probably going to be really entertaining.
Yeah.
I'd check it out.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, definitely.
It's not the new Hellraiser.
I still haven't seen that.
I'm going to hurt you real bad. I'm Pinhead. I'm Pinhead. Hi, everybody. I want to raise some hell.
Oh my god, yeah, that guy.
Funny.
Oh fuck.
I know. We have to watch it though.
Yeah.
We definitely have to watch it just to talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
We'll need lots of alcohol. But her and Jeffrey are both in this movie that I need to fucking get my hands on, and it's called Pulse Pounders.
Oh. That is okay. It's the sequel for what's it called?
Fucking need this movie. Okay, one of my favorite fucking anthology movies is The Dungeon Master, and it's a fucking sequel to The Dungeon Master, and I've never even heard of it. And I was doing some research, and I was like, Pulse Pounders. It's an anthology, and one story, the one that Barbara and Jeff are in, is a Lovecraft story, and the other story is a sequel to Trancers, and the other one is a sequel to Dungeon Master. Like, I was like, what? How have I never heard or seen this movie?
Yeah, like it's never ever crossed.
I fucking need to get
path.
that fucking movie.
Pulse Pounders. The name is a little
weird.
bit.
I know, right? I know. Those full moon guys.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit cheesy. She's a babe.
She's a babe.
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
Like, seriously, that bitch fucking looks exactly the same now. Like, she's turning 60 this year, and she looks amazing. That she's fucking bathing in virgin's blood.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw her in Beyond the Gate, I was just like,
she looks amazing,
and she's got this. Like, she's got this, like, allure, and especially because her character in that movie is a movie within a movie, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's her character, and, like, she looks out of the TV, and it's, like, the sexiest thing.
It's, like, creepy and sexy at the same
time.
Oh,
my God.
I know.
The way that she did that role was, like, madness.
Yeah.
And
she's basically, like, the sexy gatekeeper.
I am the sexy gatekeeper.
No, she, like, I definitely one of my inspirations. Like, we talked about this.
What she's been taken.
Dude, seriously, like, I look up to a lot of women who are in their 50s and 60s and still look amazing with no plastic surgery, and it's all, you know, just eat well, take care of yourself, like, exercise.
And who are still dedicated to the genre.
Yeah.
I mean, some people hit an age, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Eddie Murphy is doing family movies now. Do you know what I mean? Like, some actors hit an age and they're like, man, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna make bullshit family movies.
She did leave horror for a while.
And then she
went
came back and she made a completely
and now
new
she's
resurgence.
like, she's banging fucking movies out like crazy. Like, like other than Beyond the Gates, like You're Next. I loved
my
that.
God,
that was awesome.
Her character
the
in
kills
You're Next.
in that movie also give me a boner. And did you see We Are Still Here?
You know, I haven't. I heard it was good.
Really
I have
creepy.
not, though.
She plays like a very sad character in that movie, but it's creepy as fuck, though. I actually really liked it a lot. But she's in this new movie, because I follow her on Instagram. I forgot what it was called. I'm sorry. But she plays a very, like, evil character in this new movie that she's plugging.
Because she always plays this, like, quasi-evil, not her fault character. Like, she has evil moments in this movie, right? But it's not her fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like kind of possessed.
She does
a little
some
bit.
crazy shit, but it's not her fault. Yeah, she always plays the victim, so it'd be kind of interesting to.
This new movie, like she's apparently like evil as fuck in it. Like I saw like a little like teaser
really cool.
on her Instagram, and I was like, give me some of that fucking Fountain of Youth water you're drinking.
Right?
There.
Fuck that.
Yeah. So
I like how he's got a butthole in his forehead right now.
I know, right? Still hot.
Still hot with a butthole in his forehead.
It's Tillinghast vision right now.
Yeah.
This also reminds me in Rotor when it like changes into that filter.
Yeah, like the filter that he can see into the past.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. Also, Barbara is being strapped down in this and Reanimator.
Oh, they're gonna give her the fucking
Electroshock. This
shit-
reminds me of Return to Oz. At the beginning of Return to Oz when they're about to give her the electroshock.
I don't remember that.
Really? And then that's when like the power goes out and then she escapes and then
it
goes to Oz.
and then it begins. Okay, and then it, you know, that shit. You want to talk about horror? To me, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is probably the scariest movie. Have you guys seen it?
I've only seen that once, actually.
Because he's not crazy, and they give him electroshock therapy, and then they give him a fucking lobotomy.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, being forced, being tied down, and people doing things to your body in a non-rapey way. Do you know what I mean? It's like the scariest fucking thing. And, like, other people telling you what you are, and you're like, no, I'm fine, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Like, but you are crazy.
Y'all
You're
don't know me.
You're like, no, I'm not crazy. But then if everyone else thinks you're crazy, and you're the only one who doesn't think you're crazy...
Yeah.
You're getting fucking shocked, bitch.
Lobotomies always make me think of Pi, the movie Pi.
Shut your dirty mouth. We don't talk about that movie.
I went there.
We don't talk
I'm gonna give myself a fucking lobotomy.
When at the end of the movie, it's like, spoiler alert.
I know. That's all I remember, actually, is math and lobotomy.
Megan is, like, honestly bummed out.
Fuck that movie. Okay, fine. Shock value director. That guy who did Requiem for a Dream and Pi.
Yeah.
That guy.
Oh, is it the same guy?
Yep.
I rewatched Requiem for a Dream recently, and that movie is fucked up too.
That's
like,
what I'm
what the
saying.
fuck? It
You
just
wanna
gets
talk
worse and
about
worse.
Ass to ass.
Oh my god, I know.
Why?
You're the one that's talking about fucking, like...
I
that
would
was
fuck
me.
Patrick.
You're right, no, wait, that was me.
How about the threesome of Dolph Lundgren?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Morgan, what were you and I talking about the other day? Oh, yeah. If I were to, I would eat Oprah's pussy, I think, if she asked me. I think I would. For like a cool $1 million of Oprah's
If
money?
Oprah was like, you know
For
what?
$1 million?
Let me
I
tell
need her
you.
ass.
I need
some
Oprah's ass for $1
ass.
million
For
bucks.
$1 million? Fuck yeah.
Some Oprah anus?
Let me tell you something. Like, Oprah is so rich. I bet you she is, like, clean everywhere. She, like, rubs herself in gold every morning before she fucking gets out of bed.
It's like a bath, like a bath full of fucking gold and
Yeah,
diamonds
like, she
and
literally
shit.
is probably, like, bleached asshole, fucking, like, everything's trimmed up perfectly.
Yeah.
It would be great.
Or she's that kind of rich, you know, where you're so rich that you don't have to give a fuck. She's hairy as fuck, dirty as fuck, like nasty.
Stedman eats that pussy. He fucking puts his snorkel gear on and
Yeah,
just dives right in.
There's like lollipop sticks in there. It's like pulling them out.
Candy corn, like taking out his pubes and shit.
Oh fuck.
Okay.
What the fuck?
That's the richest pussy I ever talked about.
Oh, I know. Seriously though, yeah.
Also, we just passed by the scene where Jeffrey sucks Carolyn's eyeball out, and I love that fucking scene a lot.
I wonder how much pressure it actually would take to suck an eyeball out.
A lot. The fucking cord that's attached to your eyeball is very fucking strong.
Yeah, I wonder about that.
Also, I think it's hilarious that Stuart, like all the movies that Carolyn has been in, Stuart has killed her.
Yeah, he loves casting and then killing her
in.
That's fun though.
Yeah, she's also in Reanimator and Robot Jox and Fortress. I believe she just does a voice, but she's also in Castle Freak and Space Truckers.
Is she in Dolls as well? She is, yeah.
Yeah, she's in Dolls as well. Yeah, she's the mom.
Yeah.
That, like, she's, like, super stuck up.
Yes.
Yeah, and her character in From Beyond is Dr. I'm not sure if it's Bloch or Bloch, but Dr. Bloch is named after Robert Bloch, who is the author of the novel which Psycho was based on, and who was also a friend of H.P. Lovecraft.
Interesting.
Fun facts.
Fun fact.
I love that they source from, like, literature and so many other places, like, for just even, like, character names and stuff. It's really fun.
For sure. You know what I love also? Okay, like, earlier when I was saying how Stuart, like, always works with, like, the same group of actors, like, for a reason, like, because he knows that they're willing to do, like, weird shit, and also because, like, when he had that same experience in theater, like, he knows what people are, like, willing to do and all that stuff. But I also feel like a lot of, like, Stuart's movies, all the actors are great. There isn't, like a weak link at all. Like, every single fucking actor in all of his... Oh, there's the drunk! There's fucking Albert Band!
The Wino!
The Wino!
Anyways, I agree with you. They always have like, a really solid team.
The group of actors that he casts in all of his movies are all fantastic fucking actors. And, like, I want to talk about Ted Sorrell for a little bit. We mentioned earlier that his character's name was Frankenstein's teacher's name, which is pretty fucking cool. But he is also fucking phenomenal in this movie too. Like, he's so creepy.
Yeah, he's very
amazing.
unnerving.
And so Ted Sorrell unfortunately passed away 8 years ago of Lyme disease.
Yeah, complications from Lyme
yeah,
disease.
it was complicated. Like, because I know people can survive with it. Like Kathleen Hanna from Bikini Kill has it, and she's married to one of the guys in Beastie Boys, and she has it, and she has to live with it. And a lot of people do survive from it, but if it's like, there can be complications, then, like, if it goes untreated, like, you can die from it, which is, like, pretty crazy that it all stems from bacteria from a tick bite. That shit fucking creeps me out.
Yeah.
So you
like,
got that shit
crazy.
for life when you get it?
Yeah, you can't unget it.
And you're always tired, you're always sore, you're, like, always in pain.
I know.
It ends up being sort of like an immuno, like, kind of thing. Yeah, where,
man.
But one of the most interesting facts about Ted Sorrell is his uncle is Jack Pierce, who was the head of the Universal makeup department and did the makeup for Boris Karloff in Frankenstein and the Mummy. He did the makeup for Lon Chaney Jr. in The Wolfman, Bela Lugosi in Dracula, Claude Rains in The Invisible Man. His IMDb credits, every single fucking monster Universal was fucking Ted Sorrell's uncle. Like he owned the fucking makeup department at Universal, like in the 30s and 40s and 50s, and like his IMDb credits are like insane, like over like 150 credits. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and like he single-handedly revolutionized makeup in movies and the way that it was applied. Like, I read an article, was it Bloody Disgusting, that posted a really in-depth article about Jack Pierce, and I read the whole thing, and it was actually really captivating, like, just talking about all of his techniques, and like a lot of the stuff that he was doing was like unheard of at the time. Yeah, he changed the entire face of movie making in terms of makeup and special effects.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, at a time when they didn't really have a lot of, or the kinds of resources that we do now.
Yeah, I read that he was unhappy with, is it silicone? Like, I'm not really sure, but for the Lon Chaney Jr. and the Wolfman, like, he wasn't happy with the prosthetic of the nose
and the face,
like, because of, like, you could see the seams and shit like that, and it's like, and every single picture of Jack Pierce, if you Google it, he's so serious, and like every single fucking photo, but like there's phenomenal pictures of him online, like of him like doing the makeup like on Boris Karloff. Like, it's fucking crazy that I did not know that he was Ted Sorrell's uncle.
Yeah, actually, you know what what's funny about Jack Pierce too is whenever he went to work and applied makeup, he put a doctor's uniform on. Like, if you notice that he was always wearing the same, like, white, like, doctor's, like, turn of the century uniform, he would put that on and apply the makeup.
I love that. Like a lab coat.
Yeah, you should Google it. It's pretty fucking sweet.
Sexy. Whenever his little, like,
penis
comes out of his butthole, he, like...
out of his forehead butthole.
He does this, like,
I know, like, he's, like, in a trance. I know. Yeah, and he tries to suck her eyeball.
Creepy.
I know. God damn it, I love him. Well, before I get into Jeffrey, and I love when Barbara fucking, like...
bites it off.
Yeah. Okay, well, Ted Sorrell, he hasn't been in a ton of stuff, but he was also in Basket Case 2. He was in a few TV episodes, like he was in a few episodes of Law & Order. He was also in an episode of Deep Space Nine and Matlock and Wings.
Yeah,
Steven Weber.
Wings.
Oh my god.
Steven Weber. We're at the point in the movie where Ken Foree died.
Yeah, he did.
He did. But we can talk about Ken Foree. So obviously, I love that his name is Bubba and he's a detective.
Oh my god. Like, let's...
Bubba the detective.
Come on.
And he obviously, like, everybody knows him from Dawn of the Dead, wearing them fucking turtlenecks.
Yeah.
He's also in the remake as well. And I actually didn't know that he also, the line that when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth, like, he did that line in both. He said it in the original and
awesome.
the remake.
It's fucking iconic.
It is.
Oh yeah, for sure. So other than the fact that he's a giant, he also has his own festival in the UK called Foree Fest, which is adorable. So and there's only been 3, I believe. There was one in 2007, one in 2009, and one in 2013. And this is adorable. I'm a big fan of Shaun of the Dead. And the store, I didn't know this, the store that Shaun works at is called Foree Electronics.
Oh, that's precious.
I had no idea.
A shout out. That is so cool.
That fucking movie is still fucking awesome till this day. Like, I love that movie. And, so his first gig was on an episode of General Hospital. But his first movie role when he was 28 was a movie called The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. And it was actually quite controversial because it was based on the book about African-American baseball players during a time of racial segregation.
Interesting.
And it also stars Billy D. Williams,
that's
James
sweet.
Earl
Nice.
Richards,
Oh,
Richard
shit.
Pryor.
Oh my
Oh, I bet you it's fucking amazing.
And Steven Spielberg was actually supposed to be a producer on it, but he got too busy working with Jaws. But yeah, like, it's one of those, like, pivotal movies, like, in, like, Black history, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very interested in watching it. He's also in that fucking movie, Knight Riders.
Fuck, I know.
I'm sorry for
Ed
all,
Harris,
I'm
your
sorry,
boyfriend,
I know,
Megan.
yeah, with your boyfriend Ed Harris. I'm sorry to all the George Romero fans out there that love this movie, but me and Morgan
we tried to watch it. We had
and,
to turn
like,
it off.
I turned
It's
it
so
off.
rotten.
I'm sorry.
It's like jousting with motorcycles. It's with Ed Harris. It's really bad.
I
Like,
couldn't
really
watch it. I was
bad.
like, I don't know if I could do this.
Yeah, it had like a weird, like, medieval, but also
With
Mad Max
motorcycles.
kind of like
and it sounds like it would be
crossover.
awesome.
Yeah,
but
it sounds awesome.
maybe I'll give it another shot though. Maybe I'll give it another shot.
Maybe
But
we were just in a bad, like, not the right
Knight
mood
Riders?
for it.
Yeah, Knight Riders, yeah. It's like one of the only Romero movies that I hadn't seen, and we tried to watch it one night, and I was like, we just weren't into it.
Yeah.
Like, we just shut it off.
That
But
also sounds like a porn,
Is
just so you know.
Yeah, I
is
know.
it pre or post Creepshow? Which Ed Harris?
It's 81, I think, is when it came out.
Okay.
so maybe like the year before.
I was gonna say it's kind of
Yeah.
like the exact same era.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Megan is intrigued.
Because that's a sexy time.
For Ed Harris.
That's a sexy time
That's a
for
sexy time for
that's a sexy time for Ed Harris. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Oh, fuck.
But it's
man.
actually kind of funny that Ken Foree is in Knight Riders because he's an avid motorcyclist.
Well, and that actually might have been part of the reason why they even wanted him to be in the movie, because
Yeah,
he was
it
like,
was
I'll get on that fucking,
It was
I'll
a
get on that
sexy time
hog.
for
Get
Ed
on your
Harris.
bikes and ride!
Yeah.
He also was in Death Spa,
Fuck
which
yeah,
was one
Death
of our
Spa!
fucking
I fucking
early
love
episodes.
Death Spa. I'm sorry, but like that movie is awesome. It has everything. It has 80s attire, 80s aerobics, sexy asparagus, like fucking Ken Foree's jacket, like the
Oh, his outfit
Yeah.
alone.
his outfit,
Yeah.
zombie fish. I can just go on.
It's crazy.
I love that movie. If you guys haven't seen
nice.
Death Spa, you need to stop what you're doing immediately and watch Death Spa. It's so entertaining. We did an episode on Death Spa. I believe that was like one of our first episodes.
It was like probably in the
3 or 4.
10. Yeah, like it was very, very early on.
I love that movie so much. Also, Ken Foree is in Phantom of the Mall.
You guys.
Eric's Revenge. I love that movie.
I knew that's where you were going with that because that shit is hilarious.
That movie. One of Pauly Shore's like first movies. It is awesome. I just love any movie that takes place in the 80s in the mall. And he's also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I actually really enjoyed that one.
I was going to say, I like that one.
I like it a lot. I know a lot of people give me slack for this, but I like the sequels better than the first one. I understand the importance of the first one,
but it doesn't mean it's entertaining. It's a boring.
I like the second one and the third one better.
because they're like
fun.
They're fun. That's the thing.
They're fun. And you can't go wrong with Dennis Hopper.
The script is more enjoyable.
Which is why I want to watch Space Truckers.
Right.
Yeah.
But the scripts in the sequels are more enjoyable. The script in the first Texas Chainsaw is so blah.
It's like a little dry.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said it before, and you guys give me shit because I know you fucking hated it. The remake for Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I liked it.
Yeah.
But it made me cry.
I just remember the part where he was
really
like
disturbed.
Jesus or whatever.
And I cried.
And I was like, but the New Beginning I heard was good.
So I tried watching it. I turned it off, not because it was bad. I just wasn't. I was expecting, because I heard it was good, right? So I heard it was like this great movie. And I was watching it and I was like, this is okay. But it wasn't, I don't know,
it wasn't captivating you the way that you thought it was.
It was almost like people whose favorite horror movie is The Conjuring are like, this movie's so fucking good.
Well, I watched the one that came out after that as well. I think it's just called Chainsaw. I don't know. I can't keep track. There is one that came out like 3 years ago, and I watched it, and I was like, it's a movie.
Wait, maybe that's the one I saw. The one where he's a kid.
It's got the girl from Baywatch, like the new Baywatch, and
is Stephen Dorff in it? Or am I thinking?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
okay.
that's the one. I've seen that one.
Okay, then that's not the one I watched.
Okay. It's a movie, but
it's a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate what Texas Chainsaw Massacre did for the horror genre, but I personally like the second one better because it's just more my style. It's fun, and I love everyone in it. Carolyn Williams, like Dennis Hopper, like
super fun.
like Bill Moseley, like everybody is so entertaining in that movie. But so Ken Foree is also in The Dentist, and he's also done a lot of TV as well. He's done a lot of TV actually.
So much TV.
He was in T.J. Hooker, William Shatner.
Comes up a lot.
He's also in The A-Team. He's also in Knight Rider with the Hoff.
So wait, he's in Knight Rider and
Knight Riders.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, two very different things. He's also in Beauty and the Beast with fucking Ron Perlman as the cat.
Oh, the cat beast.
Yeah,
so many beasts in this episode.
Beast Man.
And he was in Family Matters. He was also in Quantum Leap.
That's fucking awesome.
Fucking love Quantum Leap. And Cheers, Dallas, Matlock, and X-Files.
Oh, fuck yeah. He also apparently was on a Nickelodeon show, too, called Kenan and Kel, which I have no idea. But he apparently had, he was, a main character called Roger Rockmore on the Nickelodeon television sitcom. I don't know.
Interesting. So it was like a kids show?
I guess, yeah. And that was early 2000s. I think it was 2001 to 2005 or something like that. So, yeah, he was a main guy in it. I don't know. I don't watch Nickelodeon.
I don't know.
Nickelodeon.
I'm not a fucking moron.
Okay. Yeah, actually, they're kids. You're right.
Stupid kids. All right, well, it's time.
It is time.
It's time.
I've had 2.5 beers.
And her pants are off, so it's time to talk about Jeffrey Combs.
It's time to talk about Jeffrey Combs. I have loved this man ever since I was a fucking child. I love him so much. So I just want to say he's the most adorable man on this planet and one of the best fucking actors. Like, I have to emphasize this. I'm obviously a little biased, because I've had a crush on him since I was a little kid, and I've seen a lot of, like, his horror movies and being, like, an avid, like, horror fan. But as, like, a movie lover in general, I have to say that he is a great fucking actor.
Yeah.
He is one of the fucking greatest actors ever. When I seriously, like, sit down and have conversations about movies in general, about, like, this person's a great actor, like, this person's, you know, like, amazing in this movie, I always think of him. I always fucking think of him. He's just so talented. And, so a little bit of history about him. So his parents' names, this is adorable, are Gene and Eugene. Gene and Gene. His parents' names are Gene and Gene. Isn't that fucking adorable?
Oh my god, that warms my heart.
I know. He attended the Pacific Conservatory of Performing Arts in Santa Maria. Then he took the Professionals Actors Training Program at the University of Washington. He did a bunch of theater that is quite apparent in his style of acting.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
like,
totally.
When you watch him in a movie, you're like, that guy did theater.
He is a thespian.
He is, for sure. And, he did a lot of theater acting in playhouses, and then he got his first minor role playing a drive-in theater teller in a movie called Honky Tonk Freeway. But then he got his first major role in the movie Frightmare. And I have that movie on VHS, and he is so fucking cute. I know I'm going to say this, like, I'm not sure, maybe like early 20s, I want to say. Okay. But like,
so he wasn't like, he didn't start acting in his like young years. Like he wasn't like a child.
Well, he graduated like college first, so I'm assuming he was probably in his 20s.
Okay.
But I have Frightmare on VHS, and I know I'm going to say this about him in like every movie, but he's so fucking cute in Frightmare. There's like this one part when they're at like a dinner table, and he does this laugh, and he's like,
it might be because I just watched it, but you sound like that fucking gremlin.
Oh, Lenny? Like the guy with the bug eyes? Yeah, that's so funny. Oh my god, yes. So
Frightmare has like a super iconic cover. Like that's like one of those covers that you have seen a million times.
Oh, you just posted that picture, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's some like video store nostalgia.
There's just like there's one pivotal scene of Jeffrey in Frightmare where he's like at the dinner table and he's like it's just so cute. So he's been in 5 movies based on Lovecraft stories. His wife, Alice Cadigan, she is Pam in Night of the Creeps. She's at the beginning in the black and white scene when she's on the date.
That's
cool. So the couple in the car at the very beginning of the movie, she's the woman. And she's also the hotel clerk in Beverly Hills Cop. So I love the Beverly Hills Cop movies, and it's like the part where Eddie Murphy goes to the hotel and pretends to like work for Rolling Stone magazine to get a free room. He's like, "Hey, I'm here for I got doing a Michael Jackson interview for Rolling Stone magazine."
So good.
You're
good or bad? It's probably bad.
No,
and then like they're like, "I'm sorry."
Good.
Like she's like, "I'm sorry, we don't have a reservation for that name." And he's like, "You're telling me that you don't have a reservation for Michael Jackson interview? I'm here from Rolling Stone magazine doing interview Michael Jackson and blah 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 blah." And like he finally like coerces like her and the manager to like get him a free room. I love the Beverly Hills movies. Like, they're amazing. But yeah, that's his wife, which is pretty adorable. And she is also in a few TV episodes. Like, she was in Magnum P.I. and MASH and The Jeffersons. And so Jeffrey, returned to the stage to reprise his role as Edgar Allan Poe in a one-man theatrical show.
That would be
amazing to fucking see. It's called Nevermore, An Evening with Edgar Allan Poe. It was in Hollywood in 2009, and it was only supposed to run for 1 month, but every single night was sold out, and they extended the show 4 times.
Oh my god.
I would love to fucking see Jeffrey Combs, like, in a one-man show at the theater. That would be amazing.
Whoa.
He has like fucking like underground fucking fans. If that like literally a one-man show, and it was just extended for that long.
Yeah,
good for him.
I know. So this is where our nerd is gonna come out.
Oh
here.
shit! There's so much Trek,
dude. I know.
Much Trek.
There was. an overwhelming amount of Trek information.
Yeah.
I couldn't even.
Like, even Ted Sorrell had some Trek shit going on, but, like, Jeffrey Combs is, like, he takes that Trek from, like, a little bit down here to, like, up, like, beyond. Like, and the fact that, like you were saying earlier, Yasmina, that, like, how much of a, like, an amazing actor he is. Like, the fact that literally in, like, Deep Space Nine, he literally played, like, 9 different characters.
Yeah.
In one episode, he played 2 people
in
one episode.
I know.
Like, he was 2 different fucking characters. It just shows how amazing of an actor this man actually is.
Well, he's played 8 or 9 different characters in the Star Trek, like, universe, and he was in Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. And my brother and I, like, my brother is a huge Trekkie, and so I grew up watching a lot of Star Trek. Next Generation is my favorite, but my brother's favorite is Deep Space Nine, and Jeffrey is more in Deep Space Nine than Voyager and Enterprise, and he is the first actor to play 2 unrelated recurring roles on screen in the same episode. He actually, get this, I know that you probably read this, Morgan, he auditioned for Commander Riker.
I'm so glad he didn't get that role.
So he auditioned for Riker, and Jonathan Frakes actually remembered him, and Jonathan Frakes directed an episode of Deep Space Nine, and he purposely cast Jeffrey in the episode, and the producers loved him so much that they wanted him to come back to play recurring characters.
Amazing. Yeah, like, he honestly, he wouldn't have been right for the Riker role, because, like, he's just, like, a statuesque fucking, like, beauty.
And when I read that was my thought, was, like, they picked a good character, because Riker needs to be, like, this broad-shouldered, tall.
But he's also a fucking womanizer, and, like, I don't picture Jeffrey Combs in that light. You know what I mean?
Jeffrey Combs is said 1,000 times, he's so cute. Riker's a fucking sex god.
Oh, no, he literally,
there's a huge difference in those 2 men, but...
He can serenade me with that trombone.
Tromboner.
Trombone me.
But yeah, so Jeffrey is also one of only 6 actors to appear in finales of 2 different Star Treks. 2 of them being Deep Space Nine and Enterprise. And his favorite character to play was Weyoon, the official Vorta ambassador of the Dominion. And I watched some of the episodes on Netflix today of Deep Space Nine. And he also plays a Ferengi. And
yeah,
he's so
weird
still,
as a Ferengi.
Even as a Ferengi, like, he's still, like, you can tell that it's him. But the character that he plays, like, Weyoon, that character is fucking awesome, too. But yeah, like, he's just an all-around, like, fantastic human being. I just love him so much. Like, I just want to fucking
You know when I don't love
him?
With a mustache.
Yeah, it's kind of strange with the mustache, eh?
It's total
Not into
pedo.
It. Yeah.
It's total pedo vibes because he's got such delicate features, and when you slap a fucking dirty stash on a delicately featured man, you start to sound like the fucking new Hellraiser guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I got some candy in my van here. You want to come in and take a look? I got some puppies. You want to see them?
Just help me move this van in. Just go in there and get the van in, get the couch.
Oh, fuck.
I need help getting this couch in. But let's talk about some of his works. So obviously, I think his most, like, well-known role is Herbert West from Reanimator, and he's so fucking amazing in that as well. Like, he's just so driven, and, like, even, like, he's so, like, I love how he, like, talks down to the other characters in that movie as well, and he's like, don't take the credit for my work. Who do you think you are? You're a severed head. You know what I mean? And, so he's also in Bride of Reanimator, which is also awesome, which is a brand new movie, and Beyond Reanimator is the only one I haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen that one. He is only at the beginning of Cellar Dweller.
Which is cool.
He is the comic artist that makes the comic. He's also in Pulse Pounders. He's also in Pit and... I know, right?
Yeah.
Pussy
Pounders.
And,
Oprah Pounders.
Oprah Pounders. Also, like, side fact, like, that she looks really weird with blonde hair in that new movie,
Wrinkle in
Time.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't even know, because that's, like, one of my favorite books when I was a
that book
kid.
is fucked up.
Dude, I used to love that book when I was a kid, and I saw, like, a poster for it the other day, and I was like,
came
what?
out?
They made a movie of this?
Big deal movie, too.
I didn't even know. Like, I was
like,
so,
did
like,
it come out,
of it.
though?
I think it's out to rent soon.
I was going to say, I think it's
Oh,
I
so
saw
it
the
went to theater, and
Yeah.
because their posters up
and
in
then
the video
kids
store.
watched it,
Yeah.
and then we had no idea.
Yeah.
I
What
had
the
no
fuck?
idea that they made a movie of that. Like, and I loved that book when I was a kid. But yeah, so Jeffrey was also in Robot Jox. He's also in The Guyver with Mark Hamill. That movie is so
That was
entertaining.
so
I made
fun.
Megan watch it.
That's a good movie.
That's
I really
a great
like it.
fucking movie.
I really like it.
I love it.
Morgan?
You didn't like it?
What, Morgan? Put your eyebrows down. Put your eyebrows back.
Are you thinking of another movie, maybe?
The Guyver?
The Guyver 2 is pretty
No,
bad.
we watched The Guyver.
I can't remember. I watched it with Megan when
You're
we lived
not
together.
allowed to not like things that we like. What's wrong
I watched
with
it. You came over and you brought it with you, and we watched it.
I can't,
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. you
Yeah.
I've seen so many movies. He's also in Transfers 2 with him and Barbara have been in so much together. Dr. Mordred is like one of my fucking favorite Jeffrey Combs movies. Like the real Doctor Strange. Like that movie is awesome, and I know you guys haven't seen it.
I have
I'm
not,
gonna
but
make you
I've heard
watch
amazing
it.
things.
Him and Brian Thompson, the guy who's in
my
everything.
nightmares.
Yeah,
My
they're both in it. They're also both in a Deep Space Nine episode that I watched earlier today and an Enterprise episode as well. And he's also in Fortress that we talked about
bitch.
earlier. He's also in
bitch.
Necronomicon. He plays H.P. Lovecraft in Necronomicon. He's in the segments that like tell the stories. The Lurking Fear, that movie is okay. It was actually supposed to be directed by Stewart, but I don't know why he didn't, but it's like the monster looks cool. He's got like no eyelids and his eyes bulge out. He's like,
That sounds painful.
but it's okay. I have it on one of those like compilation DVDs that has
Yeah.
like 10 movies
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And Castle Freak, he's in. Doesn't he bring that hooker back to the castle and then Castle Freak bites her nipples off?
Yeah. Good
And
times.
so this is a movie that I think Megan can probably talk about a little bit more. I've only
everything.
seen it once. The Frighteners. Have you seen it, Morgan?
Okay, that Michael J. Fox is in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember when it
I
was
don't
like,
really
what,
remember it, to be honest.
mid-90s, 95, 96?
Yeah.
I remember when it
It's
came
a
out.
90s movie.
And I remember,
What
I
else can
think
you
I
say?
saw it then, but I only remember that Michael J. Fox was in it.
I like it because the ghosts are in, like, that he's bros with, are in, like, from, like, different time periods. There's, like, a cowboy, you know, like, a gunslinger.
I think I remember the gunslinger.
You know what I mean? And, like, it's...
Who does Jeffrey play?
I don't remember who Jeffrey plays.
He's one of the ghosts. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a ghost, but, like, it's just, it was such a bad... It was a 90s movie. Like, you know what I mean? You know how you can picture a 90s movie? Like, it was...
I can
I understand that, like, with the 90s, like, you had to have loved it when it first came out in order to love it for life. Like, but I can also agree that there are a lot of 90s horror movies that still stand as amazing movies till this day. Like, I still think Scream is a fucking fantastic movie.
Was he not in... Was it him, or am I wrong, who was in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer? I think
he's in that.
Because when I was doing my research,
I know Jack Black is in
definitely-
that movie. He plays that white Jamaican guy.
Oh my god! 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 I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I just love it because there's that kill
I don't
where
remember
she's
it at
in the
all.
tanning bed.
I just remember that Brandy's
and they
in it.
put the zip ties on the tanning bed and lock her in, and then crank the fucking
Isn't that
heat.
Final Destination?
No, well, I'm sure they do that.
Oh,
but
okay.
in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, they go on this vacation and it's all
Oh.
rainy. So one of the brides is like, I'm gonna go for a tan. And this guy's like, oh bitch, you fucked up, and like locks her in and like cranks the fucking heat and like, ooh, I remember just being like, ooh, that's
I just
gonna
remember
hurt.
Jack Black and Brandy. That's all I
Yeah,
remember
Brandy was
from
in it,
I Still
yeah.
Know. But I love I Know What You Did Last Summer because I saw that
great
fucking
movie.
shit in theaters, and I love Sarah Michelle Gellar because I love Buffy, and I till this day still watch that movie, and I fucking love that movie.
Jennifer Love Hewitt with that choker.
And that's very 90s.
She had the choker and the low cut blue top, so like her
giant
titties
tits.
were out,
Yeah.
and like her gorgeous hair, and like,
What are you wearing?
that's the scene. That's the
That
exact
makes me think
scene.
of Scary Movie.
Um,
What are you wearing? Oh my god, we hit a boot.
Fuck.
I've seen Scary Movie a lot.
So Jeffrey Combs is in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. He
so.
plays Mr. Brooks in it, it says. I don't see anything else about, like, I don't honestly remember the movie that much.
I don't
except
remember
for that part.
it at all.
But yeah, he's in it, and he's one of the main.
No, but you're right.
guys.
Talking about 90s, there are some really great...
There are some gems.
But then there are some, like, I don't know what it was with the 90s, where it was like, there are just some movies that came out that they seem rushed. That is actually, I just came to it. It's like, the scripts all kind of sucked. You know what I mean? Like, the production was high because in the 90s, I feel like there was a ton of movie for some reason in cinema. So, like, the production for all these movies, the production value was so high. But it was because they were pumping out movies, like, in no time at all.
You're right.
So it was like, yeah, that was good, but forgettable. Yeah, that was good, but forgettable.
And special effects were becoming better as well, so they were, like, incorporating things like CGI to, like, make it easier and faster to, like, do blood and, like, all of the things that made the 80s so desirable and tangible.
I definitely, like, there are a lot of 90s gems that kind of, like, still stand till this day, in my opinion, as amazing movies. Like, Scream, like, when I think of, like, 90s horror, Scream is up there for me.
Sure.
Scream is a fucking amazingly written movie. The way that movie was written is awesome. The acting is awesome. I saw it in theaters and it blew my mind, and I still love that movie.
You gotta remember though, it's not a 90s director. That's a classic horror director.
You're right. Yeah.
So like, he has enough experience that if you're not making a good fucking movie in the 90s, Mr. Craven, like, you need to pack it up and go home.
For sure,
Totally.
definitely. Well, another 90s movie that I want to bring up that Jeffrey Combs is in, okay, I just want to say something before I name this movie. I'm a big Vincent Price fan.
Yeah.
And I'm very biased when it comes to remakes. So when I like a remake, it's definitely a very impressive movie. And I fucking dig the House on Haunted Hill remake.
It's so funny!
It's so good. And
so
Jeffrey
good.
Combs is the creepy surgeon guy. He's like, do you remember that movie, like, when they're when she's like like, basically, like, the house, like, is condemned or whatever, and then, like, they go spend the night, and when they show scenes of, like, in the past, when they used to do fucked up shit to the patients, the surgeon was Jeffrey Combs. But one of my favorite fucking scenes in the House of the Haunted Hill remake was the part where the girl from Billy Madison has the video camera, and she's videotaping the room that has, like, the surgery table, and then, like, in her video screen, you can see them, like, operating on a girl that's, like, freaking out, and she's, like, screaming, but then when she looks up in the room, there's nothing happening, but then she looks at the video screen, and then, like, there's something happening in the video screen, but then she, like, keeps looking into the room and nothing is happening. That part scared the fuck out of me when I was younger, when I saw that movie. And I also love that Spike from Buffy is in it as well, and the guy who plays the Vincent Price character is awesome as well, and Famke Janssen from, like, X-Men is in it. And, like, I think that movie's awesome.
What's her name?
Famke Janssen.
That's the coolest name ever.
She's
probably some Scandinavian shit.
Yeah. I love, when it comes to, like, 90s horror, like, for sure, and, like, remakes, like, I love the House on Haunted Hill remake. Like, I watch it still till this day. Also, Jeffrey was in Faust. I think I need to rewatch that movie.
Faust.
I know.
Well,
Faust! I don't know.
I'm very afraid to
it.
as well.
Yeah.
Because that was one of those Brian Usna fucking movies.
Yeah. But it was also on, like, Red Letter Media, like, Best of the Worst.
I
and I remember watching
know.
it when it first came out, and I rented it, and I was like, what is this?
I heard it's not great.
I know.
So
I think I'll
I'm
rewatch it, though. I will rewatch it. But he was also in the remake of Wizard of Gore. I don't really remember it, but I remember watching it because Crispin Glover was in it. That's all I remember.
You were too busy paying attention to your other boyfriend.
I know. I have a lot of boyfriends in this episode.
That'd be another movie, wouldn't it?
Oh, man. Like, fucking Crispin Glover.
The Wizards of Horror. Jeffrey Combs and Crispin Glover together. Together.
Oh, whip, whip, whip. They are very similar. You got a type.
I know. You know what? And as soon as Yasmin was like, oh yeah, I love him. I'm like, oh my god, like you literally, I can see what you like now.
Nerds.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, nerds. Like literally, like James Spader in Stargate. Like it's the same guy, same fucking guy, the same sweater. He wears the same fucking sweater and everything.
Gosh.
That's hilarious. Well, Jeffrey has also done a lot of voice acting and on cartoons and video games. He was also in Beauty and the Beast with fucking Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman.
I'm sorry.
I know, that shit still makes me laugh. They made him look like a cat. Like, why?
Man, I remember watching that fucking show too. I'm so
I thought it was like
ashamed.
super like dramatic.
It
though.
was. It was
Like,
dark.
that
It was
show
dark.
It was very dark.
It was literally candelabras in this fucking sewer. Like it was that dark.
Yeah.
I mean, when you break the story down, it's like a fucked up tale.
It's very fucked up.
Yeah.
And
Ron
they
Perlman.
they took it like
God.
to a new low because he's like living in the sewer and shit.
Yeah.
And he's also in a Freddy's Nightmares episode. He was in The Flash. He was also in Babylon 5. I used to watch Babylon 5 when it was on TV. And he's in one of my fucking favorite anthology shows that a lot of people don't talk about.
Perversions of Science.
So excited.
Jeffrey's coming off laughter.
excited.
Perversions of Science. I love it's like basically Tales from the Crypt, but like a sci-fi version. It was only one season, and I love it. He was also in the Twilight Zone, the 2002 Twilight Zone, and CSI, and that new Gotham show. I just haven't seen it.
Batman. I don't know.
Batman.
Batman.
I don't know.
Yeah, Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
But yeah, other than the fact that Jeffrey Combs is
Gives you a boner. Well, hey.
yeah, the greatest man ever to live. That's all I gotta say.
Bold statement.
Yeah. Well, humans are such an easy prey, and I have nothing else to say.
That was a poem.
It was.
That was a poem.
Garth,
That was like a
that
fucking.
was a haiku.
I was gonna say it's like a fucking haiku.
Alright. Do you guys have anything else to add?
No, I think you pretty
Nope.
much did him raw. You
Yeah.
fucked him raw.
Jeffrey Combs, I love you. I'm gonna make you watch Dr. Mordred. I can watch that movie over and over again and never get sick of it.
I'm into it.
The real Doctor Strange, bitch.
Oh shit.
That's right. Okay, well, thanks a lot for listening, guys. And
On that
I
note,
hope you
see you
enjoyed
never.
listening. And
Yeah, from beyond.
from beyond, get slimy.
Yeah, get slimy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.